Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the 50 top stories from across the world. I'm Alison LaGrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, in a scathing attack, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a maniac, psychopath, and blood-feeding vampire. The rebuke came after the recent Israeli airstrikes in southern Gaza's Rafah city. The attack caused a deadly fire in a camp for displaced people. Now, Israel is continuing with its offensive in southern Gaza's Rafah city. A video from yesterday shows an Israeli helicopter firing at various locations in Rafah and large plumes of smoke rising from the strip. The strikes come after Israel sent its tanks into the center of Rafah yesterday. Satellite images released before and after the attack depict the damage. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has urged Israel to come up with a post-war plan for Gaza. He warned that the absence of a plan could trigger lawlessness, chaos, and a comeback by Hamas in the enclave. Now, the remarks came after Israel escalated its offensive in Rafah. Yemen's Houthi rebel group has released footage claiming to show a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone being targeted. The Houthis claim that the drone was downed using a surface-to-air missile in a desert region in central Yemen. The U.S. has not confirmed that it lost a Reaper drone. The East African nation of Madagascar is holding parliamentary elections. Dozens of residents were seen lining up to cast their votes. The president, Andry Rajoelina's party, had won 84 out of 151 seats in the last election in 2019. And now for some updates from India's parliamentary election. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be going to the southern city of Kanyakumari to meditate. Now, he announced that he will be there for 2 days. The Indian Prime Minister's spiritual retreat will begin after the campaigning for the 7th and final phase of the parliamentary elections ends today. However, India's main opposition party, the Indian National Congress, has called the Prime Minister's Kanyakumari meditation trip a violation of the silence period. This is the period before voting begins when there's a ban on campaigning. The Congress has urged India's Election Commission to ensure that the Prime Minister's meditation trip is not televised by the media. Now, a man fainted during the Prime Minister's campaign rally in the state of Odisha. The Prime Minister stopped mid-speech, asking his medical team to attend to the man who had fainted due to heat and humidity. The doctors provided first aid and shifted the man to a hospital. Now, Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has said that his health is perfectly all right after Prime Minister Modi raised his health during his rallies in the state yesterday. Prime Minister Modi had alleged that Odisha CM's health was deteriorating, and he also said that Patnaik was not in a state to do his routine duties. And Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, has filed a plea in a trial court seeking bail in a money laundering case. This is after India's Supreme Court rejected his bail extension plea yesterday. The Supreme Court had earlier granted interim bail to Kejriwal to campaign for the elections until the 1st of June. Now he wants a longer court to grant him the regular bail. And the Congress leader, Jairam Ramesh, has made an announcement about the leadership of the opposition coalition, the India Alliance bloc. Now, he said that whichever party from the bloc gets the maximum number of seats in the election will be a natural claimant for its leadership, and this includes the Prime Minister's post. Ramesh had added that it might take less than 48 hours to pick a prime ministerial candidate. Meanwhile, the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi held an election rally in Punjab and vowed to waive farmer loans. He said if voted to power, his party would form a commission to waive farm loans as many times as required. He also said that this is the first election that is being fought to save India's constitution. The Congress MP Shashi Tharoor says that law must take its own course after his former aide was detained at Delhi airport under the suspicion of gold smuggling. Tharoor said that the authorities must take any action required to investigate the matter. Meanwhile, the Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar had criticized the Congress and Kerala's ruling CPM party as an alliance of gold smugglers. A complaint has been registered against the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mehbooba Mufti. Now, this is for allegedly violating the Model Code of Conduct for the ongoing elections. The Mufti has staged a sit-in protest with her party workers in South Kashmir's Anantnag district on the 25th of May. And this was while polling was underway for the Anantnag Rajouri parliamentary seat. Mufti violated a curfew imposed to prohibit large gatherings for the smooth functioning of the election. During an election rally in the state of West Bengal, the Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, was spotted dancing with a few women. Banerjee joined the women as they danced together on stage in the South 24 Parganas district yesterday. Now, 9 constituencies in West Bengal will be going to the polls on the 1st of June, the 7th and final stage of the parliamentary election. Now, in climate news, temperatures in Delhi reached a record high of 52.3 degrees Celsius yesterday. The Indian Meteorological Department, or the IMD, reported this temperature in Delhi's Mangeshpur. Now, it is the highest temperature to be recorded in India ever, with the authorities warning of water shortages in the capital. Now, soon after Delhi temperatures soared to an all-time high yesterday, the Indian capital and surrounding areas experienced light rainfall. Delhi has been reeling under severe heatwave conditions for the past few days. Weather officials have said the city will experience thunderstorms along with rain until the 4th of June. Now, the Indian state of Manipur has been hit by floods. The Impal and Nambul rivers reached dangerous levels due to torrential rainfall caused by Cyclone Remal. At least 3 people have been killed so far in Manipur. Officials say it is the worst flood in the state since 2015. And residents of the U.S. state of Texas are bracing for more storms. Severe thunderstorms struck the region earlier this week, bringing in heavy rain and strong winds. It left several thousand people without electricity. Cleanup operations are underway, but forecasters predict more storms and potential flooding in the upcoming days. The United Nations has said survival is nearly zero in the Papua New Guinea landslide. The global body estimates that about 670 people are still missing. Only 6 bodies have been recovered. The UN believes chances of finding the rest of the survivors are next to impossible. On to business and tech news now. Retail giant Walmart overcharged customers in March of this year at 1,600 stores in the US. The firm says that this was due to a technical glitch in its internal systems. The glitch led to incorrect pricing of certain items at Walmart's self-checkout points, and the issue lasted for several days. The Australian mining giant BHP Group has abandoned its bid to take over British rival Anglo American. This is after Anglo American rejected its last offer, which was worth over $49 billion. Several BHP acquisition proposals have been rejected by Anglo American. The British miner says BHP Group is undervaluing their business. Now, American oil firm ConocoPhillips has proposed to buy petroleum refining company Marathon Oil. The acquisition deal is worth $22.5 billion. Texas-based ConocoPhillips produces and sells oil and natural gas globally. Marathon Oil's takeover is expected to further expand the firm's business. American investor and billionaire Nelson Peltz has reportedly sold his entire stake in Walt Disney. Now, these stakes were held by an investment firm run by Pulse called Train Fund Management. Now, Train Fund Management was Disney's fifth largest shareholder. Earlier this year, the billionaire had disputes with Disney's management, and Pulse was seeking a seat on the firm's board. The Finnish technology company Nokia has been allowed to sell its stake in a Russian joint venture. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized the sale yesterday. In 2018, Nokia set up a joint software firm with Russian telecom firm Rostelecom. However, Nokia pulled out of the country after Ukraine war broke out. American desktop manufacturer HP has reported $12.8 billion in revenue for the second quarter of this year. During the quarter, HP's personal computer sales rose by 3%. The firm expects its PC sales to pick up in the next quarter. HP is expecting strong demand for its new laptop, which will be powered by Microsoft's artificial intelligence features. And Google has announced a $2 billion investment plan in Malaysia. The firm plans to build its first data center and cloud computing hub in the country. The data center will power Google's services like Search, Maps, and Workspace. The Malaysian government says the investment is expected to create 26,500 jobs by the year 2030. ChatGPT maker OpenAI has signed a deal with American news publishers The Atlantic and Vox Media. OpenAI will use their content to train its artificial intelligence models. Recently, OpenAI has signed similar deals with News Corp and Financial Times. The social media giant Meta has found a disinformation campaign on its platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Meta says the campaign used deceptive content to influence users about the Gaza war. The firm added that this content was likely generated by artificial intelligence. The posts praised Israel's handling of the Gaza conflict, and Meta claims that this campaign was led by a Tel Aviv-based political marketing firm. A senior United Nations official has said that unregulated artificial intelligence is keeping us all awake at night. The head of the UN's Digital Technology Agency said that the governance of the AI sector is a concern for everyone, from local governments to the United Nations. The official noted that right now the power of AI is concentrated in the hands of a small number of individuals. Moving to sports now, we start with cricket. India remained in the top spot in the ICC men's T20I team rankings ahead of the T20 World Cup. The men in blue have 264 ratings points, 7 more than Australia, who are placed second. And England, who are the defending champions of the T20 World Cup, are third with 254 points. Now, New York is beefing up security measures for the upcoming T20 World Cup, and this comes after reported threats emerged, especially related to the India-Pakistan match. Now, it is scheduled for the 9th of June at the Eisenhower Park Stadium in New York. Police officials in the city have been asked to increase the surveillance and screening processes for the tournament. And in football news, Lionel Messi's Inter Miami lost 1-3 to Atlanta United in a Major League Soccer match. Saba Lobjanidze had scored a brace for United to take 2-0 lead. Messi reduced the deficit for Miami with his goal in the 62nd minute. But it went in vain after United struck a finisher through Jamal Tiare. Now, Barcelona have appointed Hansi Flick as their new head coach. He is on a 2-year contract with La Liga club. Flick has previously managed Bayern Munich and the German national team. He will be looking to improve Barca's dismal performance after it failed to win any trophies this season with their former coach Hernandez. In tennis, world number 1 Iga Świątek of Poland is through to the third round of the French Open. She was up against Naomi Osaka of Japan yesterday. Świątek defeated Osaka 7-6, 1-6, 7-5 in an intense second-round match that lasted 2 hours and 57 minutes. And over in the men's draw of the French Open, world number 2 Yannick Sinner of Italy has also advanced to the third round. He secured a comfortable 6-4, 6-2, 6-4 win over Richard Gasquet of France. Sinner will next play the Russian Pavel Kotov for a place in the last 16. In badminton, ace Indian shuttler PV Sindhu has crashed out of the Singapore Open. She lost to former Olympic champion and rival Carolina Marin of Spain in the round of 16. Sindhu easily secured the first set 21-13. The Spaniard staged a remarkable comeback to win the next 2 sets 21-11, 22-20. Meanwhile, India's leading men's singles player HS Pranoy has also crashed out of the Singapore Open. 8-seed Pranoy lost to world number 11 Kenta Nishimoto of Japan 13-21, 21-14, 15-21 in round 16. Now, Indian prodigy R. Pragananda has defeated world number 1 Magnus Carlsen in the classical chess for the first time. The two are participating in the Norway chess tournament currently. The 18-year-old Indian was playing with the white pieces and was the only one to take the lead in round 3. Classical chess, also known as slow chess, is a format where players typically have more time to make their moves. And France's Orient Express racing team introduced their AC-75 boat yesterday. They aim to claim their first ever victory in the prestigious America's Cup, which is the world's oldest trophy. The blue boat with gold accents was unveiled in Barcelona. The 37th edition of the sailing competition takes place between August and October of 2024 in Barcelona. And in entertainment news now, the makers of the film Moana 2 released its first trailer. The story promises to be a thrilling voyage this time. Moana sets off on an adventure seeking to connect with new people of the world. The film is scheduled to release on the 29th of November. And Netflix has released the trailer of The Umbrella Academy's final season. The trailer shows the central characters preparing to reunite. The story follows the life of the adopted siblings of a family with superpowers. In the final season, they will be challenged to live a normal life without powers. The 6-episode final season will start streaming from the 8th of August. And the newly released trailer of The Wolves shows Brad Pitt and George Clooney together after 16 years. The video shows the actors getting assigned to the same job, and they both enter the scene together in the same outfits. The film is set to release in September this year. Now, Nicholas Galzatine has been roped in to play the role of He-Man. The role is a part of the long-delayed Masters of the Universe film. The story is of He-Man and his clash with Skeletor. The film will release in 2026. Anatomy of a Fall star Sandra Hüller has reportedly joined the cast of Project Hail Mary. She has been paired opposite Barbie actor Ryan Gosling. And the story follows the life of a school science teacher who one day wakes up on a spaceship. The film will hit theaters in 2026. The return of the Lord of the Rings trilogy to the big screen has been an exciting announcement for its fans. And now Viggo Mortensen has said that he is interested in reprising his role. He said in an interview that if the story is right, then he will pursue the role. The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, is expected to release in 2026. Amazon Prime is working on a series based on young Sherlock Holmes novels. Reports suggest that Hero Finds Tiffin will play the lead role, and the series will be 8 episodes long and will be directed by Guy Ritchie. And Nicki Minaj has decided to extend her Pink Friday 2 World Tour. She plans to do a second leg of her tour in North America. The concerts will begin in September, where Minaj will perform at places like Los Angeles, Miami, and Dallas. And singer Camila Cabello revealed that she has collaborated for her upcoming album with Drake. The album features rapper Drake twice. Last year, they were spotted in Turks and Caicos Islands getting cozy, but it turns out they were shooting a track. Her album CXOXO arrives on the 28th of June. And Selena Gomez, in an interview, has said that she is unsure if she will ever tour again. She says nothing makes her more happy than being surrounded with fans, but is equally emotionally draining to see people paying for that experience. Selena Gomez last toured in 2016. And that's all for today's episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost. South Africa's May 29th elections